Hello everyone, I'm Bishi, and tonight we are playing more Call of Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. We are still in the first game, but we are in the last case of the first game. So we are in, I believe, day one of the trial. I technically started this case last time, which was a couple weeks ago. I will definitely need to be using my notes today. Yeah, we're in case 4, first day of the trial, already did first day of investigation, etc. We can get into the notes when I'm actually playing the game, but yeah. Anyway, welcome in everybody. Welcome in Ruuuvo and Flame, who was first in the epic bish of the day. You are Apollo's favorite tonight. I'm just gonna make that a thing. Whoever's first is the favorite of the protagonist. Every stream. Oh. I feel like this song gets faster every time I hear it. Yes, I have secretly been increasing the speed every time. I really wonder sometimes if you do the no. I don't have time for that. Do I look like someone who has a lot of time on their hands? Okay, maybe I do. However... I think we should probably just go ahead and hop in. I don't really have anything to update y'all about or talk about. Unless y'all want to talk about something, let me know. That's fine. But I think that I'm ready to start playing. Let's just go ahead and hop in, and then I'll read out what I wrote down in my notes. Yeah, here we go. Day one of the trial. Let's do it. Oh, you don't have anything? I got something. Oh, God. Now I'm scared. October 8th, 9:48 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 6. Here we are. Oh, yes, this character. Oh, Flame redeemed Ruuuvo voice. That's not something to talk about. That's something, that's some way to talk. My brain short-circuited and I somehow was hearing Honolulu City Lights. It's City Nights lights instead of the title screen music. You got Yakuza brainworms. That's what you got. Wait, I have a question. Why did they call it oven when you in the cold food, out hot, eat the food? Because... No! The stream broke. I'm not supposed to switch back so fast. Stream was like... Oh. Have I distracted chat? Let's see. Apparently I have to do Ruuuvo voice, though. Good morning! I'll just make Apollo sound like this. So, you're Vera, right? I'm Trucy. Trucy right. That's right with a W. But not right. Right? We're on your side. You can tell us anything, please. Good morning. She speaks! Not bad, not bad. But I think you would do better with a little smile, you know? You're so pretty. You need to sell yourself, you know? Trucy, let's take it easy for starters. I keep forgetting I'm supposed to talk like this. Oh. Oh. That is a smile. Thank you for taking my case. Okay. Well, that's a start, I guess. Apollo just has like a frog in his throat, you know? And it sounds a little weird. There she goes with her nail polish again. That's great, really. It's so cultured. Want to try? Ooh, really? Girls. What about him? The victim, Drew Misham, was a forger, and a stolen painting was found in his studio. A wife of crime, really. And maybe one that led to his death. October 8th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. We're in it. It's happening. Well, we will now, begin the, trial of Vera Mitchell.
Is the judge okay? His voice is all raspy and he's looking around all nervous like.
Repercussions of today's trial will most likely be felt for a long time, and may indeed alter our legal system forever. Oh, right, I completely forgot to read out my notes, so I would remember that. I will do that in a second. I've arrived home, but my computer won't boot. Oh, no! That's so scary. Oh, God. What's wrong with the computer? Give it some cold medicine. Give it some oil! I just need some oil! Oh, God. I'm so sorry. Stream yesterday sure was girls alright. Oh, my God. Oh, the main drive. Oh, no. Well, hopefully it's something that you can just replace and it gets working again. Oh. Let me read out these notes. Let's see. So yeah, this case is a practice case to implement the juror system. It's about the murder of a forager. The defendant is his daughter, who doesn't really talk much. We showed Graham the envelope, and he freaked out and wanted to open it, and it's from Trucy's dad, Zach. Zach has been gone 7 years, so he's been declared dead. He inherited the miracle trick in the mentor's will, and now Valent can take it for himself, which I found suspicious. 3 paintings in Misham's studio had undersketches that were of the 3 previous cases that Apollo did. Okay. See, I'm remembering all this as I'm reading it, but I could not tell you that off the top of my head, so I'm very glad I wrote that down. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Alright. I think I'm ready. Not even booting from the repair drive is working? Oh my. I would be freaking out. I would be freaking out. I hope that you're able to figure something out. It gets working. Gosh. It may alter our legal system forever. Today is a test of the jurist system, and the first step towards a new order in our courts.
Daddy, secret mission.
The jurists will function like a jury. It is hoped their inclusion will help the courts to better reflect the people's will. Why aren't there any jurists in the courtroom? 3 closed-circuit cameras watch this courtroom at all times. The jurists have access to everything that conspires. Jurists, judge well and judge cool. Now see here, Prosecutor Gavin. I was going to say that. Ah, my apologies, Herr Judge. Jurists, today, judge today's trial coolly, if you would be so kind. Jurists are unbound by the letter of the law. They don't affect the trial with evidence, but by their feelings, and we're about to find out just what effect they're going to have. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. The details of the case, if you would. The victim is the painter Drew Mitchell. He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned. By whom, you ask? By none other than the defendant Vera Mitchell. Objection! Trial already? You did all the investigation, huh? Yes, last time I streamed this, before I went on the break, we actually got to start this case already, and I think I went... Oh, I don't remember if I went for a long time. Actually, I think I barely finished at 3 hours or something like that. I did a short stream because we got to trial day 1, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be nice to future Bishi and not start the trial and then stop in the middle of it and have to pick back up from there, because it's a lot easier to pick up from it to be continued than in the middle of something. So I purposely did that, which I'm glad. So I just have these little notes to help me, but aside from that, I think we're good. Hey, Amelia, welcome in. Yeehaw! Sometimes I wonder how YouTube feels about the yeehaws, because they never know why I'm doing it. Because I don't say anything. I'm not like, oh, Emilio has redeemed, give me a yeehaw, and then yeehaw. I just do it. So they just think sometimes I'm so excited to see some of y'all that I just have to do a yeehaw, I guess. I was just thinking about that, I think yesterday. I think I was editing and I did a yeehaw, and I know why I'm doing it. But I was thinking as I was editing, wait, no one really knows. If you're not there, if you don't know my redeems, you have no idea why I'm doing this. Oh. Never explain, don't explain. Yeah, it's just something we Texans do, yeah. I'm so very Texan. I don't do a timer for the Ruuuvo voice, I just go until it feels right, you know? Welcome in, Zoe! I don't put a limit on it. Let's see. Bishi, how do you feel about Clavier as a prosecutor now that you're near the end of the game? Man, yeah, I haven't really sat back and thought about it. I think when he was first introduced, I thought that he was just kind of a... like a simple character, you know? Like just this rock star type of guy who also happens to be a prosecutor. Probably like a jerk. I don't know. I don't think I really liked him in the beginning. I never liked those characters that are... Not that he's a show-off, but he just kind of gives me those vibes. You know what I mean? I mean, he does guitar flourishes in the middle of the trial, you know? At this point, I think I'm seeing a pattern that Clavier does care about the truth of the matter, kind of like how Edgeworth cared about getting to the truth of the case. Even if sometimes he's kind of helping us out. So I don't think of him as too much of an antagonist, but I definitely don't like him as much as Edgeworth. You know what I mean? Not that I should be comparing them necessarily, but sorta. I mean, right? He's kind of like the Edgeworth of Apollo. Edgeworth to Apollo? I don't know how I would say it, but I don't know. He's not my favorite character, but he's also not a character that I hate or anything like that. I think I like him. I don't love him, but I like him. You know who I love in this game so far is, of course, Phoenix. Daddy Phoenix. He's my fave. I like Apollo, though. I've heard whispers of, like, mixed feelings about Apollo, maybe, as a character. I like him, though. You know? He's just kind of like how Phoenix was in the very beginning of the series. He doesn't really know what he's doing, and, you know. But, I'll probably always love Phoenix more, but I still like Apollo. It's fun. I'm having a good time. Lawyering already. I know, yeah, we just kind of jumped in today. My favorite part about Bishi streams are those times they yeehaw randomly. Just... That's what I was imagining. I'm so sorry, PC Man. I really hope you're able to work something out. And... throwback to yesterday. Do random yeehaws count as stimming? They can. They aren't for me, but they could be. Someone might do that. Just yeehaw, yeehaw, yeehaw. Oh, okay, you have a Steam Deck? That's fine. A good replacement. At least you could play something, but, you know, I do feel for you. I would be freaking out if my computer didn't work. I like his sick air guitar shredding. It's very funny. I do love all of the animations in this game with all the characters. Like that one. I really like the noodle guy with his little harmonica. There's probably a few others that I liked, but yeah. You know who else likes Phoenix? My mom! Edgeworth. Apollo gets a lot of development. Can't wait for you to see. Oh, yeah. Like I said kind of in the beginning of the stream, once I finish this first case, or this first game in the trilogy, so once we're done with this case and I get to the ending, there's 2 more games, but I am going to kind of take a break from Apollo Justice for a little bit to go back and do something else, which can either be finishing Chronicles, or starting FF7, or, is that really what I was fighting in my head about? I think those are the 2 main things I would like to do. I don't think I want to get back to Persona. I think I would rather do one of the other 2. But I'm open to going back to Persona at some point. And once I finish whatever I decide on, so once I finish FF7 or once I finish Chronicles, we'll come back to this. And I do plan on finishing all of it. I mean, I want to play the entire Ace Attorney series just like I like to play the entire Yakuza series, so I'm very committed to that. It just might take a little longer. Might give us might take a little time, you know? But I definitely would like to. So I will see that development eventually. Hey, Panda, welcome in. Newly grand Bishi. Did you like the animated concert that you had to view 500 times? No. Does that answer the question? Not gonna complain. Gives Capcom more time to release another installment before you catch up. Imagine. I'm just constantly playing catch up with this goddamn series. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I would love if they, what's the word? If they ported, the investigations games that are all about Edgeworth. Is there anything else out there that has not been ported to console? Because now we got Apollo Justice. We've got the mainline trilogy. We got Chronicles localized. I think all that's left is investigations unless there's something I'm missing. Or even a continuation of the series from the end of Apollo Justice. But I don't know if that's a thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's possible. Don't tell me. Because, like, sometimes, like, the series ends and it's, like, a good ending and you don't want it to continue, you know what I mean? But I also, like, don't want to know anything about the ending of this trilogy. You know? But I don't even think anything's wrong with Apollo. I like him. Yeah, I like him. I like Phoenix more, but I don't dislike. It's kind of like me with Kiryu and Ichiban. Like, I will always love Kiryu, but I'm fine with Ichiban. I do like him a lot. Hey, Wafer, welcome. Welcome in. I was surprised to hear people didn't like Apollo. I don't know. I just assumed because he's kind of like Phoenix's replacement, you know? I just kind of assumed it was that. I don't know what else. It does not answer the question. Please provide an essay answer. I will not. Does that answer that question? From experience, it's not necessarily him, but how the writers treat him. And I personally don't agree. Oh, okay. Discussion for another day. Yeah, I don't think I know enough about Apollo for us to talk about it. I agree with Ruuuvo. And I agree with Wafer, who agrees with Ruuuvo. And I would hope that Wafer would agree with me agreeing with him agreeing with Ruuuvo. But I don't know. We'll just have to see. Oh, you've been watching the new Fallout show, Panda? I've been meaning to watch it, and I just haven't gotten to it. How many episodes are out? Like 2, I think? I think it's really early still. Show's pretty good. There are a lot of references so far. I heard that there was a lot of references. I really want to watch it. I am a fan of the Fallout games. It's all out now? Oh my god. Okay. I could binge watch it. Perfect. That's right up my alley. I do it for Dungeon Meshi. I will sit there every week and catch up and watch the latest episode. But I typically don't like to do that because I have to wait. I would rather just binge watch it all in one sitting and be done. Oh, you hate doing that? Well, just pace yourself then. If it's all out at once, you can just do however you like. But if it's episodic every week, you don't have a choice. You gotta wait. And I have played Fallout. I played 3 and 4. Just those 2. Welcome in, Roxy. Howdy. Teehee. Teehee. Okay. There wasn't any poison in the coffee. Achoo. Someone has been doing their homework. Okay, so I've just been going along with it. What the hell is a chung supposed to be? Is that supposed to be like a guitar sound effect? Like, chung. Is that what I'm supposed to be doing? Because I just say chung, or I just ignore it. I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. What am I doing? I know it's the end of the game. Is it German? You can't just say every word that doesn't look familiar as a German word. Oh, it's a German word. Okay. Oh, okay. What does it mean? Guitar? I think clavier means piano. That's all I know. Also watched Fallout show, liked it. Playing Fallout 3 because of it. Never played and started with New Vegas. Oh, wow! I really liked 3. I think that's actually still my favorite. I had so much fun with it. I played it when I was a bit younger. I was like 13, 14 or something. And then I played 4 like 5 years ago when it came out. But 3 was such a good time. I put so many hours into that. 4 was good too, but I don't know. There was something about 3 that I really liked. I'm glad you're getting to play it. And I still need to play New Vegas. I have it now. I got it for like $2 on Steam, but I haven't played it. It means attention. Okay. How do I say it? How do I pronounce it? Did you doubt me? No. At least Wafer agrees with me. Wow. Wow. Disagreements are normal. Aktum? Aktum, I guess. I'll just say Achung. It's easier for me to say. Or I could just translate it every time and say attention. Someone has been doing their homework. Indeed, poison was not present in the coffee, but on the mug itself. Mug? Ah, residue was found on the rim, I see. The autopsy report describes the manner of our victim's death. The court accepts this as evidence. Got the autopsy report, good old autopsy report. Death by atroquinine poisoning. Estimated time of death is 9 to 9:30 p.m. According to this report, victim's death was caused by atroquinine poisoning. A chemical compound that does not occur naturally. Lethal dosage is a mere 0.002 milligrams. The touch of the atroquinine in the body is the touch of the Reaper's scythe. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. You may present your witness. I have for you today a simple man for a simple case. A man who witnessed the murder in its entirety. That journalist, no doubt. Gotta remember the voice I gave this guy. The witness will state his name and occupation. His nose. Ah, right! Oh, some kind of like newspaper person. Voice. Well, for starters, my name's Spark Brushel. My job is a lone observer of the world. In other words, a freelance journalist, right? Ahem. If you don't mind, I'd like to state something here for the record. Yes, Mr. Brushel? I dislike conclusions, specifically the aspect of jumping to conclusions. Preconceptions make Park Sandbox of endless desert waste, end quote. But you are a journalist. You said so yourself yesterday. Well, that's true, yes. But you must understand, I stand before you today a man with a dream. I'm offering you my testimony in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. Scoop turns Mr. Brushel into that Mr. Brushel, end quote. Let's hear your testimony then, shall we? A simple case, huh, Gavin? For me, the jury is still out. Ha, ha. Not funny. Didn't laugh. Hey, Archer, welcome in. The nose guy. He's just the nose guy. Does he know he's a nose guy? Didn't land. Not funny, chat didn't laugh. Made it to the good case. Hope April's going swimmingly. It's going pretty good for me. Would you like to see a picture? I'm showing this to everybody. No hesitation. Look! Baby! Baby bird! I will use every opportunity. Yes, baby picture, give me. Oh my god. That's the sound that happened when it hatched. Look at the baby! Yeah, look at the little baby. 1 day old. This is when, baby Dongo was born. Dongo is now... Oh, how many days? 5? 6? 5. 5 days old. How are the proud parents doing? They're doing just fine. They're doing a great job still. They're doing great feeding the baby and taking care of it. Baby Dongo's eyes just opened today for the first time. They stayed closed for quite a while. So now he's able to see the world and he looks so cute with his little eyes open. So he's able to see his mama and his papa and us. Giants looming over the cage like, look how cute. So hopefully he'll get used to us pretty quickly because he's a baby. Yeah, we're very happy. Very happy with the baby. My one photo I'm sharing with everybody. I am hoarding all the other photos. I will release them later. Yeah. Does he have object permanence yet? Probably not. He just sits there, covered in skin and nothing else, and eat, sleep, wake up, why hungry, cry, eat again. The miracle of life. I was 5 days old once. We all were. Yes. Now all of us are many days old. To varying degrees. How is his wing-eye coordination? His wings are developing little quills. Little feathers are going to pop out of him soon. And he looks very cute. I think baby birds are cute. They are ugly in a sense, but I love them. I think that baby doves are pretty cute. What does the baby eat? The baby bird eats what his parents eat. So Mochi and Dumpling will go onto the floor of the cage and they'll go eat the seeds I leave out for them. And then the crop will kind of digest it a little bit until it's like a liquid, and then they regurgitate it for the baby. Kind of gross, but that's what birds do. So, yeah. It's just liquid seeds, I guess. Like millet and things like that. But yeah, they're doing a great job. I watch them feed him. I think it's cute, but the vomit of life, yeah. The life-giving vomit. Mammals do the same, but slightly different. Well, very different. I will say, with pigeons, that slurry that they make is called pigeon milk. It's not milk. It's not, but that is what it's called. Fun fact. Or maybe not so fun fact. I don't know. Depending on how you feel about it. You just described my daily routine. Same function. Yeah. Brewster puts that in your coffee. He does! Yes! So when it says, oh, I put pigeon milk in your coffee, if you know. Yeah, when Brewster offered pigeon milk at the cafe, yup. People drink poop coffee. Pigeon milk is fine. That's true. We were talking about poop coffee yesterday. Hey, you know, we eat some weird stuff as humans. We really do. The world's so big and he is so small, and now he can see everything. So cute. Yeah. I've just been waiting for his eyes to open because I thought they were going to open sooner. So I was starting to get worried because I'm a super anxious, paranoid grandparent. But then they finally opened today and he was looking around and looking at his parents, and it was very, very, very cute. And me and Ruuuvo cried. Yeah. Catch up the chat here. Someone please help. No one did. Not in the way that you wanted. Oh. Oh, I don't remember that. I didn't watch Always Sunny. I've only seen clips here and there. I really should have watched it. I really should have. Just one of those shows I never got to. Okay. I hate that description. Okay. Visit the studio around 9 that night to do the interview. First outsider to enter the atelier. Journalistic history made, end quote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next. Star falls, end quote. No one else entered the room besides her the whole time. His glasses. That does sound like a simple case. Unless you were the one who poisoned him. What are you saying, Judge? Need I remind you, the cameras are rolling today. I felt the need to be a bit dramatic. You didn't do it, did you? Me do a thing like that? Come on, that's like newsmaker making the news, end quote. Or even contemporary witch hunt, end quote. I know, wild accusations rock courtroom, end quote. Ah ha ha ha. Rock indeed. Prosecutor Gavin sure looks like he's having fun. So happy for him. So happy for him. Very well, Mr. Justice. Your cross-examination, please. Sometimes I just am an autopilot and I read out dialogue and I don't get the tone right. Like there I made it sound sincere and I was like, oh wait, he's being sarcastic. Damn it! And I have to fix it. Is that like the milk steak thing? Oh. No, they actually tried to sell this to the public. Not as gross, but I knew someone who used to put ice in their milk and it would melt and water down the milk. It's really not that bad. It's just watery milk, but I would just have the milk in the fridge and pour it out, and then it's cold from the fridge, and deal with the repercussions of that. Oh. You know what's funny too is like, it's the way it's presented. Like if it's just a glass of milk and it gets watered down, that's gross, right? But then if you mix water and milk in like a soup, you don't care. But it's because it's a soup. And it's meant to be all kinds of liquids together. The lack of tone markers always gets me, not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, like, sometimes I'm able to pick up on it quickly and I can just read it out the first time correctly. But sometimes, again, I'm just not really thinking. I'm on autopilot, like just now, and I just read it out normally. I'm like, oh, wait. That didn't sound right. Yeah, good soup. Watered down milk. That is conversation right now. We don't talk about the weather here. We talk about disgusting food things. Okay. Visit the studio around 9 to do the interview. 9 at night? Isn't that a little late for an interview? If the great painter Drew Misham says come at 9, believe you me, I go at 9. The first and, as it turned out, last interview with such a prolific painter. Right. Can you tell us what it was like when you arrived? First outsider to enter, blah, blah, blah. Yada yada, he just keeps on yapping. You were the first reporter ever in Drew's studio? Posterity will look back on that night as a turning point in journalistic history. A basically insignificant step for all mankind. But a giant step for that Brushel guy, end quote. If no one on the outside ever had access to the studio, then it would serve to reason that the deed was done by an insider. By which he means Vera did it. So, how did this epoch-making interview go? His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. Would you mind being a little more specific? Ooh, wait, let me tell you, I enjoy a cuppa. In fact, it all began when I was in 3rd grade. No, wait, 4th grade. That's not what I meant. I believe I know what Herr Forehead is driving at. His coffee the victim was served. Did anyone other than the defendant touch it? Right, that's what I was gonna say. Really? Well now, if you've got a question to ask, you'd best straight up ask it. That's what I tell all the new recruits, several times if necessary. Write for a grade schooler. That's my motto. Which isn't to say I can only write grade school level stuff, mind you. Who touched the coffee? No! I was in the back, looking at the studio's equipment when she served it. So helpful. And what happened next? Oh, not this conversation again. Breakfast cereal is soup, question mark? Hot dog equals sandwich, question mark? Soup is just meat, milk. Okay, that is the least valid sentence in chat right now. What about veggie soup? Meat, bath, water. Okay, that's a little more accurate. I'll get that one. Give you that one. An iced latte is kind of like watered down milk with some coffee in it. Yeah. Again, though, it's the way it's presented, right? It's like there is water in it with milk in it, but then you also have the coffee, so it mixes into something good. But water plus milk just equal watered down milk. You know? Your Honor, she served. Objection, Your Honor, she ate. How do you milk an almond? Carefully. Sensually, no! That's the one place you're not supposed to go with that. Gently. Ever so gently. You don't want to frighten the almond. Aggressively. You just get an almond in your hand and crush it. It turns to liquid. She served, she ate, and left no crumbs. She did what comes after 7? 8. You know what happened next? Star falls, end quote. What's this about a star falling? Star falls, huh?
It's like an old telegram. Send money over.
Zowie, you don't know? That's like a journalism code word. An important personage passes away, a star falls, get it?
But there's no gravity in space, is there?
Oh my god.
I wouldn't think stars could fall, really.
Does this matter? That's like 60% of our conversations here. It's like, how would that actually work though? Like, let's talk about it. Does it really matter? Probably not. But it can be fun to think about. Nah! You have to smack it around before you start the milking. Oh no. Oh. Almond milk, you get Terry Crews and ask him to crush a bunch into dust. And add water and milk, so you get watered down milk. Like, almond milk is just milk with almonds in it. Oh boy, this is good stuff, good stuff. How about star breaks? Nah, lacks punch. I know, star dies. Nah, lacks imagination. Of course, you could go with Drew dies, straight to the point. I like it. I think we need to hear about something a little more substantial. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well then. I have to make a decision. We want to hear more about the moment of death, Brushel's coffee, or the star's coffee. I think it's 1 or 3. Maybe the moment of death. Let's try that. About when Mr. Misham passed away. Oh boy, what a scene that was! He put his coffee mug down with a crash, right? Yes, and then? Then the cold finger of death touches his spine. Life's flame sputters and fails. So cold was that touch he could do naught but tremble uncontrollably. Actually, life's flame is a little tired. Life's river froze over. Yes, that's a go.
I think he's starting his article already.
Could you describe that a little more simply? Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty surprised. He hit the floor, as they say. Artist's seizure is final performance, end quote. Natural quinine paralyzes the central nervous system. The body arches back like a bow, the limbs tremble, the throat burns. Whew! That's quite enough of that. Some of us want to be able to sleep tonight. Oh yeah? Well, I want details. Lots of juicy details! For that, you can listen to our last year's hit single, Natural Quinine, My Love, by the Governors, available at all major music outlets. Why would you make a song about how you die by poison? The point here is that the victim died of natural quinine poisoning. Well, Mr. Justice, how did you find that testimony? I don't think that was good. Well, the way that someone dies after taking the poison could matter. Oh. But we really, like, kind of danced around the topic a lot. There was a lot of filler in that dialogue, so I don't know if it's really important. Let me see another one. You would think the moment of Mr. Misham's death would be important. Mr. Brushel's story really didn't tell us anything we didn't already know. Well, the way you died by the poisoning, yeah. Very well. Please continue with the testimony. Okay, let me try that again and see what he says about his coffee, the victim. Hold it! Try that. He hit the floor, you say? Next thing you know, Shorty got low, 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 low. So low that he's 6 feet under! So really low. Like the lowest you could go. He would definitely win at Limbo. I can joke about this because he's not a real person. He's a character. Like, really low. Okay, we're gonna ask this one next. Oh. Oh yeah, he hit the floor, as they say. Next thing you know, Shorty got low, 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 low. True story. I was looking up the lyrics. I was gonna do it too. Everybody. Everybody! Low, 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 low. You say Mr. Misham had the coffee too, but did you actually see him drink the coffee? Of course! He who sees it wins, but he who says it wins bigger! And he who smelt it dealt it! I live in a man sees dog eat dog and writes about it world. Yet? I guess I can't say I saw him drink it really. He had one so-called sip of that. Man puts lips to mug, drinks? Question mark, end quote. That poison is quite virulent, I hear. My stomach did a so-called somersault, as I'd gulp down that coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe something's there. Some kind of so-called trick. Anyone want to venture a guess for the record? Does this guy have a pause button? Well, Mr. Justice, did you find that testimony valuable? Why do I have to know that? I don't know. Gosh. I don't think that one gave us anything new. I mean, I already know that the coffee doesn't have poison in it. It's the... It was the cup. The fact this says slow-acting deadly poison, but then they say that when you drink it, you have, like, a seizure and your body reacts like that. I feel like that's more of an immediate thing, but I don't know if that's gonna be it. I need to find some kind of contradiction. I feel like maybe the first one was right. I don't think this one gave me anything I don't know. I mean, okay, what it does say is that Brushel also drank the same coffee and nothing happened, but I think it's because we already know the mug had the poison, not the coffee. It was more so the cup than the drink. I'm gonna say no. Continue. Okay. I'll try it again with the third one just to see what happens, but I feel like it's probably gonna be the first one. How tall is the victim? 6 feet. Underground! Hate these trick questions. It's just like, I have to decide what I want to be able to have in the testimony, you know? I have to decide what is going to be the thing that gives me an in to present the evidence against. So I just need to figure it out. Okay, let's ask him about his coffee. So, you drank the coffee that Vera served you too? Of course! When someone serves you coffee, you drink it! That's what my old boss always used to say. Never did get what he meant by it, though. But you're still alive, which is to say, you didn't die. Of course not! No point falling before you're a star! End quote. That's not exactly what I was getting at. What were you getting at, though? You know the poison was on the rim, not in the coffee. Oh, yes, yes! There were 2 cups on the tray she brought, and one of the cups had Drew's signature painted on the side. No chance the guest would take that one by mistake, I guess. Well, Mr. Justice, was that important? Oh, I think it's the first one because I didn't know that that poison made you seize up like that, and that could be important. And then we found this little frame with the poison in it too, which is really weird. Estimated time of death 9 to 9:30. Okay, let's go with the first one. Let me just go with that for now. Okay, let's get that one. Oh. That's it. Okay, let me get this on the screen. Blah, 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 blah. I could also, like, see all the dialogue first and then come back to this, but let's just go with the moment of death being important. That was my first instinct anyway. And then we'll say it matters. Might matter. Let's say very important. Well, as an account of the moment of the victim's death, I would say it's very important. Please add it to the testimony. Very well. The court requests the witness add this account to his testimony. Those spasms. That was definitely death by poison. You say it was definitely death by poison. How can you be so sure? Hey, look! I'm a journalist! I've seen a lot of things. I've had more than my share of experiences with so-called poisonings. Man eats fishy fish, goes bye-bye, end quote. Food poisoning doesn't count. Should I get him to talk about something else? Oh, that makes it a lot easier. Let's leave it alone for now. Let's go with what we have for now, yeah. Alright, no one else entered the room besides her. Can you say that for sure? For sure? Sure, I'm sure. Drew Studio isn't a big place, kiddo. I'd know it if someone else had come in. What if they had been hiding in there from before? Even if someone had been hiding in the studio, they hardly could have poisoned that mug without anyone noticing. You think I, Spark Brushel, would miss something as obvious as that? No way.
He sure makes it sound exciting. I guess that's his job.
There's only one moment we need to focus on, really.
The moment when Drew Misham died?
Exactly. There has to be something there. Visited the studio around 9 that night to do... Okay, so that's it. Well, they're saying the moment of death is the most important right there. Definitely death by poison. Let's read this. No, nothing new here. Okay. Is there anything I can glean from this?
See that there? That's poison.
Yeah.
Don't lick it, Apollo.
Don't worry, I'll be fine.
No, you won't. You'll die.
Look, I know! I meant I won't lick it!
Who knows what you do when I'm not watching?
Concern is touching. Really. Next thing you know, she'll be telling me not to drink coffee before bedtime. When I heard Bishi joke saying everyone in chat's brain cell is using the same Wi-Fi, I thought, that's cute. Bishi's chat is in sync with each other and Bishi, and that was when I first followed. Now I realize that wasn't a joke. The brain cell Wi-Fi password really is I love Majima Girl 69. I almost forgot that. But no, we all kind of like, I mean, we all got our like inside joke, so to say, and our chat community lingo, you know? And we all just latch on to the same things, and it's a good time. Side-eyes my coffee at 23:27. I mean, it doesn't make everybody wake up. Not saying this is you, but I've heard apparently people who have ADHD, when they drink coffee, it doesn't actually make them stay awake. Like a lot of them can just go right to sleep after drinking coffee. Just,
tastes good. I go sleep now.
Let's see. I don't know what I could... It must be about the mug. I could react and say slow acting, you know? That could be kind of like a... Let me save. I'm gonna try it. I don't think it's right. I'm not really sure. No, yeah, that is me. Okay. Makes us sleepier. There you go. Caffeine ironically calms the ADHD brain. Yep. Chalky milk. A little spice, with a little spice to it. For me, any caffeine usually takes 1 to 2 hours to actually affect me. And then when I drink coffee, I feel like I get heart palpitations. Got too much anxiety in my body. Okay. I'm gonna present the mug. It's not that. Okay, I didn't think so. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I don't give a shit! That's how he feels. I don't know why I'm stuck on this one. I don't think this is the right dialogue. Okay, so we're gonna press, and then at the end I'm gonna say let's switch it to something else. Either Brushel's coffee or the Stars coffee. Let's go with Stars coffee? There might be something there. Say Mr. Misham had the coffee too. Did you see him drink it? I can't say I saw him drink it. He had one sip. What did you say there? Yeah, he drank a bunch of it. Let's say yes. The victim drank his coffee, then immediately fell over. Oh, yeah, okay, so that's gonna be it, because he died right away, and this is supposed to be a slow-acting poison. Okay. Oh, yes, yes, you can go to press with that one. Your Honor, this is a vital piece of information. Please add it to the testimony. Okay, there we go. Very well. Witness will add this to his testimony. Vital, right. As set in the hit movie Gone with the Wind, my dear, I don't give a shit. Yeah, I don't give a damn. Oh, while I log in on the laptop so I share Bishi content with my partner, here's a tiny update on my month. My partner moved in with me and shortly after had top surgery. They're doing wonderfully already and I'm so proud of them. Oh, Archer, that's amazing. I wish them a speedy recovery. Wish them well from me. And I hope that he is doing great and heals up very quickly. And congratulations on moving in together. That's so exciting. A very good time. Oh, Lex! Thank you so much for resubscribing. For 17 months.
Let's get some shit.
To get some shoes. A smash up. Oh my god, shoes. Oh my god, it's Lex. Welcome in. Here is your star. Here it is. Zell. XL. As it's mirrored, looks backwards. Jin here. How's your Thursday, Lex? How's it going? How you doing? Have any tasty food lately? I feel like you often talk about like when you get tacos and stuff, and when I think of you, I think of like delicious food. Something you talk about a lot. Oh, In-N-Out today. It's so funny. I haven't oh man. I have a story, okay? So I've been to California. I have family there. But I didn't grow up there. I didn't stay there for very long. But when I visited a long time ago, I got to try In-N-Out. Now, I will say it was not fresh. Like, someone had gone out and brought it home, so I don't know how long it was in the bag. But when I ate it, it was very greasy, and I didn't like it. And that's the only time I've had it. So I don't have a good view of it, but I know that a lot of people who live there like it, so I don't hate on it. But I didn't like it. I'd be willing to try it again. We actually have some here, but I don't know if like the ones in California are better, that kind of thing. But I still haven't tried it for a second time. So I tried it once, I was like, But I would be willing to try it again because I know y'all like it, so I don't know. We'll see. That's fair. I do love Whataburger, but I will also say I don't think it's for everybody. Like the burgers themselves, they're, unless you ask for no onions, they have a lot of onions on them. They're huge, first of all. But I think they're really good. I like it. I get that, just a normal burger from there, or I'll get the chicken actually. I like the chicken strips from them, so the ranch is pretty good. So I don't even always get a burger anyway. Zell, the evil Lex, yes. Whataburger supremacy. That's why it's called In-N-Out. You put it in your body and it comes right out. Dang. Oh, God. Oh, no. All the ways you could take that. They get the chicken sandwiches. I think their chicken is pretty good. I think so. You know what I miss? They used to have like these little kind of like chicken nuggets, but it was basically the chicken strips, but just like smaller pieces. I loved those, and they discontinued them, so now I have to get like the full-size tenders. I don't know. I just really they were like water chicken bites or something. I was so upset when they stopped having them. I know it's just a smaller piece, but I don't know. I liked it. Personally, I get a 4x4 and milkshake. Oh, they have milkshakes. I love a good milkshake. Why do they call it in and out when you in the food cold? When you in the cold food of out hot eat the food? Okay, I think I know what to say to this. I'm gonna press hold anyway. I mean, press. He had one sip. Next moment, he was on the floor. Oh my god. So he either took a sip or he didn't, and then fell over? Oh yes, indubitably, just like that, wham bam! So Mr. Misham drank the coffee and fell over immediately. I think Brushel's telling the truth, too. Should I get him to talk about something else? No, I think that's it. There's no need to change it. Problem with the testimony is already pretty obvious. There we go. So yeah, I've got it now. So we are going to do this one. And we are going to present the mug. Objection! Yeah. You know what I have a problem with? A particular property of the poison used, atroquinine. Oh? Prosecutor Gavin was quite clear about the poison. A lethal dosage of 0.002 milligrams paralyzes the central nervous system. If you drank that, even you, Mr. Justice, would be reduced to a quivering pile. Why are you using me as an example? Quivering pile? I thought he was going to say something else. Unfortunately, we weren't told everything. There was a vital omission in Prosecutor Gavin's information. Omission? Atroquinine is as virulent as he says, but death doesn't come upon ingestion, not immediately. That's because atroquinine is slow-acting. Slow-acting? What? According to one forensic scientist, it's one of the most virulent poisons, but is absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. It takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for adverse effects to show. I'm gonna write that down. That is some kind of specific thing I probably should know about. Poison used takes 15 minutes to show effects. Say that. If we suppose that the moment Mr. Misham sipped the coffee was when he sealed his fate, then he would still have had time left to enjoy his last cup of joe. Atroquinine is a drama queen. Order! Order! What's the meaning of this? If what the defense says is correct, why, that contradicts the entire testimony we've just heard. Well, Mr. Brushel, anything to say? On the record? Slow acting. Slow act. It was virulent, all right. Even then, it had already begun digging its claws into the journalist. He's working on his scoop. Sigh. Objection! It's Brushel, yeah? Herr Brushel. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Huh? Did the victim really die the instant he took a sip? Think it over. This is vital. You know what I think? I think that was a not-so-subliminal suggestion, end quote. It really was. I admit, it does cause a problem if he died when you say he did. I would be forced to say off Vitasin to my simple case. And you would be forced to say farewell to your article. Come again? You can't write a story based on conjecture, can you? And as the case drags on, other reporters will pick up the scent. And you'll be forced to kiss your exclusive scoop goodbye. Scoop! Scoop! Ah! Ah! Why is he doing that? Oh, I thought he was like brushing his tongue. He's like wetting it with his tongue to like clean his glasses. Still, that's gross. That is so gross. Scoop, scoop. Look, wait, just wait a second. Just 1 second. We're waiting. Out with it. I think I just recalled a so-called important detail. A revival of recollection, end quote. A story's survival, end quote. Attorney utterly confused, end quote. Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. I'd heard of poison that takes its sweet time, see? But not what I've been saying for the last few minutes, apparently. Mr. Brushel, are you saying you noticed something that explains what happened? You bet I am! The antidote for a poisonous contradiction, end quote, you might say. Or I still have no idea what you're talking about, end quote, I might say. I figured it out, but only after an in-depth interview. See, thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee. His stance. Order, order! As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his testimony that Mr. Misham died the instant after he drank. Of course I'm standing by my testimony, and my dream of exclusive rights to this story. I suppose it was too much to hope for. What was? Of course he wouldn't choose a simple case, not him. Him? Phoenix Wright, who else? Herr Brushel, report for us, if you would. What is it that you noticed? This court is a critical trial of the juris system. I'm afraid no room for doubt is permissible. You will testify to the court about what you noticed. Oh. Yeah. Atroquinine isn't real, by the way. It's atropine. Ah. Not me thinking you're out there chomping on a 4x4 wood post. Just for funsies, are you still writing on the booba post-it notes, the man boob notepad, asking for a friend? Oh my god, where are they? I am. I use the front and the back, so like right now I have a bunch of notes on like the back of this one, but I always get worried when I show it, because like, I don't want it to look like something else, you know? So I don't show it on stream that much, because I'm just scared. Is it better if I cover it? There's the abs. Like, it's a man chest. It even has like a little like sheen, like it's oily on the pec. But yeah, I use these all the time for my little stream notes, yes. Oh, EOS scares me. Yeah, it's always on my desk. I look at it often. From the back, Brushel kind of looks like Baldy from Baldi's Basics, but not green. I can't see anything. Twitch shut down the stream. No. No, oh no. Okay, hold on, I gotta look up. What was that you said? All these basics. What are these things y'all are talking about? Oh, this thing. Okay, I've seen this thing. I don't know anything about it, but yes, he does kind of look like that. He actually look. I want to look up what you guys are talking about. I don't know what these references mean. I want to know. I have to Google stuff all the time. He does look like. No, oh no, Emma! They shut down the stream! It's like FNAF, innocent children's entertainment was scary. So frightening! When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. I thought nothing of it at the time, of course. Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note? Suicide note? Yes, he had this look on his face. Man's face inscrutable as a quadratic equation, end quote.
Suicide? Poor Mr. Misham. That means Vera's innocent.
Would someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview?
Oh.
Very well. You may begin your cross-examination. Yeah, that'd be kind of weird. When I arrived, Mr. Misham was at his desk. Was there anyone at the studio other than Mr. Misham? Well, his daughter Vera, of course. Was anyone besides Mr. Misham and Vera present? Not a single one. Not a cat, not a rat, not even a mouse. The only person who didn't belong to that studio there was you, wasn't it, Mr. Brushel? I know what you're doing. I know your game. Attorney uses classic Ramsden phenomenon ploy, end quote. You intend to suggest that this reporter is a suspect. I'm sure you also intend to present evidence supporting the assertion, correct? In the meantime, let's move along, shall we? He knows how to intimidate me. He seemed to be writing a letter, but quickly sealed it. So he put the letter away when he saw you. Early reporter gets worm, end quote. That's my secret. I'm not sure I follow. It's the night of the interview. I arrive 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The handle turns, the door opens, and I barge in. Are you sure that's okay to do? I mean, isn't that unlawful entry, really? Mr. Misham sure seemed to think so. You should have seen him. He crammed his letter into that yellow envelope as fast as he could. Yellow envelope. Okay. We've got a red envelope. Interesting. So Brushel says, victim was writing a letter for death. Yellow envelope. Okay. Interesting. I know a secret when I spot one, and that was one. It does seem significant. Well, Mr. Justice, I wonder. It does have the ring of something important. Yeah. The defense finds this testimony vital. Very well. Add it to the testimony, then. Hey, why not? My account comes free of charge. There's a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene. Okay, so that's inaccurate, then. Oh, so maybe he's lying about seeing him write it, because he doesn't even know what color it was. Okay. I thought, oh, maybe he saw another letter. No, he's lying. Alright. Well, now I know what to do. We'll still press him on everything, though. All Bishi knows is be gay, do crime, thirst for Kiryu and women, and lie. When do I lie? Not that last one. I just realized I've never seen your reaction to the bracelet sections. Well, when it first showed up, I was just kind of confused because it never explained why the bracelet is magical, and like Apollo never really questioned it. I don't know what to think of that. And then sometimes I struggle to see where the behavior is. I've gotten stuck on it a few times. I'm like, I don't see anything. It could be really subtle. It's definitely interesting. It's an interesting mechanic. And you saw him seal this yellow envelope with the letter? Hey, don't look at me like that! I saw what I saw! Hello, you think this might be our big break? Yeah. What I need to do is show some decisive evidence. Yeah, I'll do that in a second. Thought nothing of it at the time. You didn't think anything might be wrong at the time? Hey, when I go in for an interview, that's what I'm there to do! Interviewer finds looking more effective than caring! End quote. What about now? Thinking back on it, did you sense anything strange in Mr. Misham's behavior? Well, yeah! That's why I'm telling you all this to begin with. Very well, continue. And the last one, now I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note? So he's just throwing stuff out there now. Suicide note? Well, yeah, don't quote me or anything. I'm just saying it's a possibility, you know? So you didn't actually check the letter? Of course not. It was sealed. Contents of can unknown until can is opened, end quote. You can always check the label. You think Mr. Misham was writing a suicide note? If he was, that would solve the case in a jiffy. It kind of makes me wonder about the letter. Yeah, so let's go present there with this. Objection! As it just so happens, there was a single letter in a desk drawer at the scene. In a red envelope! Liar! Oh! Hello? He's not human. That's a demon. He's pure evil. Oh. You know what that makes me think of is like if things that happen in cartoons could happen in real life, it'd be absolutely terrifying and unsettling. Yes. It would be horrific. Oh, getting like squished as a pancake and then like wing, like going back to shape. No. Horrifying. Bracelet's not really magical, just heightens his senses. I know, but it's like... It's a bracelet. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how it works. I feel like it didn't need to be a bracelet. Like, it could have literally just been him, like, focusing, and it could have been, like, an eye symbol for it. I don't know. Because it's about him perceiving things, but it's like, why is your bracelet, like, vibrating? Like, is this an Apple Watch? Like, what? Yeah, his balance wristband. Waistband. Reminds me of The Mask, yeah. I actually loved that movie, though, as a kid. I watched it so many times. I loved it. That's why the ending of Who Framed Roger had scarred so many people. True. Very true. Both amazing movies. Prosecutor Gavin. Yes. Was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime? Unfortunately, no. But hair forehead. It's easy to mistake the color of an envelope. No, it's not! I guess. But not this envelope. You see, it was postmarked already, 7 years ago. Well, Mr. Brushel? I can explain that. Drew, right? He wanted to get that letter in an envelope pronto. Get it out of sight of my beady eyes, right? So he grabbed the nearest envelope and crammed away. And what about the whole red and yellow envelope contradiction? Chump! Well, Mr. Justice, have you anything to say to the witness's claim? That night, the victim put a letter he had been writing in a red envelope. What? It's impossible? It's possible. What is he referring to? The quote he's saying right now? Or how the guy is lying right now? This wording is confusing me. I want to say that he is lying and he didn't put it in a yellow envelope. Because there was no yellow envelope. Technically, the envelope wasn't even sealed. It had been sealed and then was opened. Only yellow envelope is this goddamn autopsy report. I'm gonna say impossible? That's impossible. Oh, I like your expression. So full of confidence. It's simple, really. As it just so happens, the defense team investigated the contents of this envelope, with the assistance of a forensic scientist. What? Note that this letter is addressed to Drew Misham. Oh, that's how you're supposed to say it's impossible he was writing it. Right. See, I forgot that detail, but we still got to the same answer, so it's okay. It's fine. Why would he address a letter to himself? Let alone send a suicide note to himself. Oh, God! Terrifying. Order! Order! Mr. Brushel, can you explain this to the court? Oh, my! How could I have forgotten? I suppose this happens to the best of us. Reporter gets old, forgets lots, end quote. I'm still waiting for an explanation, Mr. Brushel. Well, that's the thing, see? This music. After he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. His drawer? Yes, a stamp. A so-called postage stamp, end quote. A stamp? Whatever for? Well, to mail his letter. What else? And then, why, yes, I think I saw him put it in his letterbox. No, it was found in the desk. Yes, it was a yellow envelope, and he put it in that box. The box was empty. Well, apparently this yellow letter has nothing to do with this case. Oh, how I wish it did. Just think, if that were a suicide note, what a story. Star writes suicide note in front of reporter falls, end quote. As I was saying, that has nothing to do with this case. That said, yes, Your Honor, it makes me wonder about the contents of that envelope. I like this song. $100,000 is quite a good deal of money. So, this was from 7 years ago, young. So, am I finished? Here, I mean. Am I finished here? I was thinking of, you know, going home to start writing. Yeah, he wants to take that, letter home. I hate to state what should be pretty obvious to literally anyone, but when you catch the scent of a story, you make that, rather unique face. Come on! Attorney has active imagination, little else, end quote. Even I noticed something, and my eyes aren't what they used to be. You know, I'm starting to understand what all this perceiving stuff is about. Judge has active imagination, end quote. Please, continue with your testimony. Tell us about the scent of a story. Oh, please stop doing that! Hey, I'm the one asking the questions here. Usually, I hate it. I hate it so much. It's gross. Okay. Same. It was my first exposure to Jim Carrey. Yeah, I loved the Jim Carrey movies growing up. He was my favorite actor for a long time. I don't know if he would still be, because I haven't seen... The only thing I've seen with him in it recently was the Sonic movie, which I did love him in that movie. But I don't know if I would say that he's my favorite actor, but I really couldn't tell you who is my favorite. I don't know. He's my favorite of all time, I guess. Because I liked him since I was a kid. He does blink with his lower eyelids. I did not notice that. Why is he so unsettling? He's not human. He's not human, I'm telling you. He's a cartoon that's come to life. Oh. The Mask terrified me as a kid, but I got over it. Then Son of the Mask said, hold my cart to be... Oh yeah, I forget about that movie. I don't think I liked it. I definitely liked the first one more, for sure. I think I only watched the sequel a few times. This guy's design is starting to bother me. Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Porter leverages story gets his interview, end quote. Story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. That red envelope probably had something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. Okay, wait. The story was about the case from 7 years ago. Okay. So you threatened to go to the press with this story. That's how you got your interview? Blackmail? Well, yes. I mean, no! No. It wasn't exactly black. I mean, I'm not, Something wrong, Mr. Brushel? Look! This is my story, my tidbit! Journalist's info is livelihood, end quote. I see. While you have me chatting away in here, what's going on out there? What if some Wally Wordsworth or Sally Scooper gets wind of my story? They could be going to press while I'm going to waste. Court feels your pain, Mr. Brushel. Mr. Justice, let's pick up the pace. A certain case 7 years ago. 7 years ago? That would be about the death of her dad, right? That's what I remember being from 7 years ago. I can't remember other things. So... Brushel blackmailed victim with info about case from 7 years ago. Okay, that might be... Pardon? It was only morally gray mail. He's like staring at those weird AI compositions. Oh god. Yeah. With like 10 fingers on one hand. It's horrible. Ugh. 7 years ago, Clavier started his career. That's the other thing that was mentioned. Yeah. So things that happened 7 years ago. Let me write those down. Trucy's dad died 7 years ago. Phoenix, I think, went up against Clavier. In a case that might be the same case. I'm kind of putting things together, but... a bit of work to get a thumbs up. But we can perceive now. The victim, Drew Misham, had an aversion to reporters. Boy, I guess. Not even my considerable charms did much for him. Until I finally got my thumbs up, that is. Maybe you can elaborate on that a bit for us. Gets his interview and quote. Exactly what sort of story was this? Oh, a little one, like I said. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing in between, end quote. I might have suggested I had a lead on this particular story, but I didn't threaten or cajole or nothing, honest. So a suggestion was enough to get an interview? Mr. Misham must have really wanted to keep it under wraps. Okay. Story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. A certain case 7 years ago. Tell us, what case? Let me state one thing, Mr. Attorney, and you can quote me on this. I can't talk about that case. Why not? It's about journalistic pride and staunchness and credibility and connections. Journalist reveals sources only over his dead body, end quote. So what'll it be? Gonna strangle me? Dead men don't tell tales, Mr. Attorney. Sounds pretty determined not to talk. Well, he looks determined not to live because he is, like, squishing his brain.
Our chances of breaking his will aren't looking good.
Okay. Imagine I have to do the perceive thing and he's doing that. Oh. His skull is made of silly putty. Yeah, it mentioned in case 2 that Clavier caused Phoenix to get disbarred. That's what I thought. Yeah, so Phoenix went up against Clavier in a case and lost his license. Oops, sorry, that was me! That was me! Sorry, that was not your computer. That was mine. My bad. The envelope probably had something to do with it. Why did everyone jump just now? On the one hand, we have your story, and on the other, this letter. What makes you think the two are related? Oh, I was just saying it's possible. Call it reporter's intuition, end quote. Hey, I say a lot of things. You going to pick all of them apart? Be my guest. All of them? No. Just the incredibly suspicious ones. I see. Anything else to add about Mr. Misham? Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. Just how amazing was Mr. Misham's talent? Huh? Ooh, wee boy, I mean, hey, he's a star, man, a star. The flow of his brush is like a great undulating river across the canvas. Artists' paints light up studio like sun, end quote. This guy is full of wacky gestures. That one just now was wackier than usual.
He looks kind of nervous to me.
Definitely. I'm sensing something different than before here. Maybe it's time to bring out you-know-what.
That testimony left a bad taste in my mouth.
It all makes sense. Nothing jumps out as ridiculous.
I wonder what this story he's talking about is. It must have been good to get an interview with a famous recluse like that.
Something powerful enough to drag Drew Misham out of hiding. I wonder. Maybe it had something to do with Mr. Misham's art. Yeah, he's a forger. Okay, so he's acting suspicious on the last one here. Maybe it's him... No. He does that multiple times. So he must be doing something subtle in this animation here. Perceive! Maybe his nose will move. Okay. Maybe not. One of the tells before was gulping. Not this time. Okay. What else could it be? So he's messing with the brush up here. Maybe it's when he's tapping it? No? He's not even moving it. Okay. I think it's gonna be on the last statement, but I have to find the tell. Goes without compare. I think that's going to be... I mean, it's funny he says without compare, because it's literally a one-to-one copy of another painting, so... Maybe his eyes? His eyes are really bright here. Does he look away? No. He is talking a lot. He's yapping alright. Is he sweating? Is anything moving? No. Okay, maybe his other hand? I don't know where it is. Let me see. Where's the other hand? Okay, it's out of frame. Weird. I don't see anything. But I'm pretty sure this is what I'm supposed to react to. Maybe his mouth moves differently at the end. No, it's the same. Okay, I don't see anything. His ears, maybe? They move? I don't know. Huh. Is it not this? Maybe it's not that dialogue. What do I think is he lying about? Let me see. That's true. No, I think it's this one. I'm pretty sure. I see it. His mouth is opening and closing. He's yapping, Your Honor. This music and being this close to his face is unsettling. I know, I don't like it. I have to try to figure out what he's doing, though. I must perceive. Is his eye twitching and I'm not seeing it? His eye twitched just now, like, in the other frame. I think it should be doing it right here. I don't see anything. What else could be moving? I mean... I was looking at his hand. It should be happening right now. Huh. It must be this one. Somewhere down here. Some of these are really subtle. Am I on the right one? Chat? I don't see anything different. But I don't think it would make sense to be any other dialogue, right? Don't quote me on this, but I think that you brushed over it once. Okay. This one messed me up on my playthrough. Okay. I'm pretty sure he's going to be doing it at the end of his statement. That last part. Weird. We stare at the pen. No. It sucks having to go through it over and over again. I almost wish you could rewind a certain part and just replay that. Like the ending statement is what I think it is, but I don't know what the tell is. It's not the brush. I thought it was that at first. Stare at the hand. Nothing there. It makes it harder too, because like the eye is jiggling so much, like you can't really look around. Maybe over here. Oh. Maybe his pocket will move? You know, I don't know. No. My gosh. Let's check around his mouth again, I guess. Should be right here. Nothing? The heck? I can give you a hint. Yeah, please. Just so we can get out of here. We keep having to stare at this guy's face and listen to the song, like... That's mostly it. I would probably get it after a while, but my god. Just to get me in the right area. It's not movement you're looking for. Really? It's not movement you're looking for. I was imagining it could be like a sweat drop or something. Huh. Shoot. Okay, hold on. It's just like, I don't see anything. Nothing. This one threw me for a loop. I needed help. Man! It's not movement. And I technically have looked at it. That's wild. Yeah, give me something else too. I think I need a little bit extra. Oh. His breath smells, that's what it is! Oh! It's not movement, it's a smell! I was wondering maybe if something that moved that stopped moving. I could believe that too. Not the face, okay. Goodness, I feel like I've been looking at everything. And it's not movement. Is it sweat? Hold on. Is it his armpit? Yeah. Oh, wow. So it's actually the middle as well is why I kept missing it. It's not the last part of the statement. That's crazy. I thought a sweat drop would go down his forehead or something, but this is way more subtle. And it pops in the middle. Okay. Well, thank you for the clues. I'm sorry it took me so long. Okay, here it is. He sweats and then it dries immediately. Gotcha! He has a magic shirt. Sweat much, Mr. Brushel? Oh, yeah, well, a man can't help his glands, you know. It's more than that. When Mr. Misham's talent was mentioned, you suddenly began to sweat buckets. Ah! You're hiding something about his talent. Oh, you're hiding something about his talent. What? That's ridiculous! Evidence time. Let's show where Mr. Misham's true talent lay. It just so happens I have evidence showing the talent mentioned in that letter. Which painting would it be? I guess this one, because it's, like, not quite done. Please be that. I can't help but wonder what the court is supposed to conclude from this evidence. What? That's the copy! Oh my god. Oh. That's the copy. Oh. Other than that, you've made a horrible mistake. Man burns bridge, forgets to cross first. End quote. Alright. Let's try that again. All I have to do is reveal what Mr. Misham really was. That shouldn't be so hard, right? I didn't think so. Well, let me look at the letter again. Well, I mean, the letter's just talking about the forgery, yeah. Oh, maybe the hidden painting, because this is, like, what he was copying? It has to be that. No? Oh my god, okay. I was on the right track, but I picked the wrong one. This painting was found in Mr. Misham's studio. There are two problems with this painting. The first is it wasn't painted by Mr. Misham. The second is that there was another painting in the studio which looked exactly like this one, except it was only half done. I feel like both should have been able to work, you know? Then we have a letter discussing a payment of $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation. The business of making forgeries. Oh! He finally died. Did it too many times. That is all, Your Honor. Everyone! Please, everyone! Let me keep this private, please. This is my story, my scoop. Forgery. That's a serious crime. Drew Misham is known as an artist these days, but there were rumors he dabbled in another kind of art until a few years back. Another art, meaning forgery? Drew Misham was talented, all right, talented at making precise, detailed fakes. A fact that certain criminal elements were quick to discover. Criminal elements? What? You can't seriously be talking about... Exactly! I'm talking about forging evidence! The rumors started circulating 7 years ago. Uh-oh. 7 years ago? So are we to understand that this letter, this payment of $100,000 was for... Exactly! Forged evidence nets tidy profit, end quote. So he was forging evidence, not paintings? Oh... Some forged evidence. 7 years ago. Connection, maybe? Question mark? Interesting. Order! Order! Why, it's like our victim was living a double life. Ah, this is my chance. Well, the victim had ties to the criminal world, right? He could have had plenty of enemies we know nothing about.
Objection!
This is my first time hearing of this criminal world. We certainly found no criminal connections when we conducted our investigation.
Objection!
But how do you explain all this money? You have to admit there's a possibility of some illegal activity here.
Objection!
But there is no proof tying this letter to our case. Our case was and remains simple from the beginning. Only the defendant could have poisoned that mug that night. And you, of course. Hey, hey, hey! The only thing I poison is my pen when I'm writing reviews. Mr. Brushel, your testimony to this point has been quite unreliable. It doesn't speak well of your reporting acumen. What are you talking about? My journal... It should be all muffled. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? Journalism's so solid you could stand an elephant on it, end quote. In any case, let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. We can ascertain the situation in that studio from the recap. The trial is over.
Hello, what is he talking about?
The cross-examination showed Mr. Brushel didn't have reason or means to poison him. As long as there are no other suspects, then the killer had to be Vera, that's what. This next testimony is our last chance. Mr. Brushel, your testimony, please. Oh boy, last chance already? I doubt it. He sweats alcohol, yeah, it just immediately evaporates. It was a very difficult one after looking for movement in so many cases. Yeah, that one was super subtle. My gosh. The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She's admitted as much herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug. You know what? If he wasn't poisoned when he drank that coffee, and the poison was so specifically on that one spot where his mouth touched it, then it was probably a case where he was poisoned already, as we have figured out, and he transferred the poison from his mouth to the mug instead of the other way around, which makes so much more sense than one spot he happened to drink from poisoning him. Which we've already pretty much figured out he didn't get poisoned by that mug at this point. He was poisoned earlier, but just an interesting thing to think about. So Misham was poisoned before the coffee, probably about 15 minutes prior, because he died right away in front of this guy. And then he transferred the poison onto the mug. Only thing that touched his lips during the interview was the mug. And nothing left that studio after he died. Nothing. Clearly, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. Well, what was he doing 50 minutes before he died? That's what we need to know. A nice testimony. Clear, succinct, and without room for doubt. Aw, shucks. You really think so? I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may begin your final cross-examination. Right. I still have one trump card left to play, and I won't let this trial end until I use it. What is it? I don't remember. Let me look. Let me see if I know where he's going with this. It could be this, no. Oh, maybe the tiny frame. Only other person was the defendant. Pretty sure Brushel said he was 15 minutes early to spy on him. Right. So he was... So 15 minutes before he died, he was messing with the letter. And he did say that he resealed it. Or at the very least, he was at the desk where this was. I just had an idea that, like, if he tried to reseal this, he might have licked it, and maybe poison was on the envelope? But that would be kind of weird. So I don't think it's that. Let's see. So 15 minutes before... He was at the desk, messing with the letter, where the frame with poison was. Okay. I don't know. Okay. Plus, I think the envelope would have showed poison if it had poison, like, on the sealant. So... He somehow touched this and put it in his mouth. I don't know. He picked up a tiny frame. It's just his tiny frame. He likes to lick it sometimes. I don't know. Unless it has something to do with painting. You know, sometimes they would put a paintbrush in their mouth to, like, make the tip sharper. Maybe he got paint on that, and then I don't... It's blank, so... I'm having a lot of different ideas, but I don't know if any of them are valid. That doesn't prove Vera poisoned it. The salt lick frame soothes him, yes. It's his comfort. Salt lick. How many times have we heard that one here, Forehead? The poison reached its victim via that coffee mug. No. And from where did that coffee come, Not to beat a dead horse again and again, but perhaps you could fill us in. I'm on it! You need a horse beat, I'm your man! Oh. It was Vera who poured the coffee. Yep. And you witnessed her pouring the coffee? Of course I didn't witness it. When she came in without tray, the coffee was already poured and a steamin'. Let us not forget the defendant has admitted to pouring the coffee herself. I heard her statement. I poured, I served, and I killed. What? Oh? She really did serve! Ah, ha, 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 ha. That last part was just a little joke. Nobody's laughing, Clavier. I don't think I'm going to get anywhere with this coffee mug. I need to find another weak spot in this case. Okay. Only thing that touched his lips during the interview was the mug. You're sure about that? Well, to be really, really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time. One of those candies might have been poisoned. Clavier, it's pronounced Slade, not killed. Yet, at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room, and no mint residue was found. It was a long shot anyway. Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. You think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee? Well, Mr. Justice, if you have some proof... Possibility is there, I can feel it. Just maybe not prove it, not yet. Impossibility isn't going to cut it, not now. Mr. Misham ingested that poison via a route other than that coffee. I can't prove it quite yet. Not yet. It was in the air! A gas leak! That only killed him and no one else! Not yet. It can't be proven. I do believe our little forehead is growing up. Pity. We liked the rash, youthful forehead best. Sigh. Another hole in this case that needs plugging before I can prove anything. But first things first. I'd better uncover a weak spot before I try to strike again. On with the cross-examination! Nothing left that studio after he died. Not one thing? You're sure? Yep, sure as sure can be. Well, with one exception. One exception? What? Journalist Spark Brushel does interview, leaves studio, end quote. Haha! Come on! It's a joke! Get it? Not funny, I know, but still! Just a polite chuckle would have been enough. Did something leave the studio that night? Why does that sound familiar? Where have I heard something like that before? Oh god. Something left the studio. I don't know. This is what happens when you don't play this for a couple weeks. You forget little details that I somehow missed. I don't think anything... Well... I don't have anything. Now that we've proven our witness is a comedian of sorts, I'd like to turn our defense attorney before returning to the testimony. Do you have any idea what, if anything, might have left the studio that night? Well, it was mentioned today. Oh, good. I'm just not paying attention. Okay. What could it be? Well, let me look at my notes and see if I wrote something down that would help me. I have poison used. Takes 15 minutes to show effects. Victim was writing a letter before death, the yellow envelope. Maybe that was real? And then it went in the box and someone took it out? Maybe he wasn't lying. Blackmailed him 7 years ago. Yeah. I guess that's the only thing. Okay, just one thing? I think one thing might very well have left the studio that night, actually. A certain something that has vanished from the crime scene. By which you mean... something other than our witness? Of course. Don't tell me. Vera Misham? I did think about that. Believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional. Then let's see what you've got for us, Mr. Justice. Well, this thing wasn't at the scene of the crime, so I can't show it to you. But I do have evidence that shows how it could have been taken from the scene. Okay. Yes. I got it. This is the only link between that studio and the outside world. A letterbox. What did Mr. Brushel just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter. Yeah, I said that, and yeah, it was true. Furthermore, you went on to tell us that he puts the letter in a yellow envelope and put it in the letterbox. Ah! But that very same letterbox was empty. In other words, that night, the yellow envelope disappeared. See, I was thinking he was lying about that. Ah, yes, intriguing. So an envelope has disappeared from the scene of the crime. Of course, this changes nothing. Huh? He has a point, Mr. Justice. What we're trying to figure out here is how the poison got into Mr. Misham. Is it really important that this envelope the witness says he saw disappeared? Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me. Very well, then. Witness will add this to his testimony. You got it. I still think this fails to change anything, Hair Forehead. I wouldn't be so sure. A letter disappeared from the crime scene that night. This is exactly the opening I've been looking for. Okay. The letter was put in the post from the studio, but I hardly think that matters. Okay. Nothing could be more serious than an envelope disappearing from the studio. And you were hiding that fact from us. Yes, well, actually... I don't argue the possibility that a letter disappeared from the studio. But Herr Forehead, isn't there a much more serious question before us? Right. How Mr. Mission was poisoned, I know. But Mr. Brushel's testimony has changed, which means the facts of the case have too. And what he's told us means something entirely different now, I'm starting to think.
Let's keep thinking, Apollo.
Okay. Clearly the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. You say clearly as though it were obvious. But this claim that the defendant poisoned the victim is merely conjecture. Ah, yes, well, you see, in my business, it's all about making the most ridiculous things sound right. Bad habit, I know. Yes, well, actually, I guess this is more a case of ridiculous journalist sounds wrong, end quote. Board is forced to agree with you. Please refrain from wild conjecture. Understood loud and clear. Only I could believe that.
What do you think, Apollo? Everything he's saying seems so not flawed.
Well, that's kind of what you want from a testimony, really. I need to keep my eye on what matters. How and why was Drew Mission killed? Vera poured the coffee. That's not going to change. But if that coffee didn't kill him, I need to find what did and prove it. Okay. I think it could be this is wrong. But we did get this added in, and they had a big reaction to this dialogue when I pressed. So it's probably that one. Whoops. Thing is, I don't have the letter, so it's like, how can I prove something? I can put this. I think this is gonna be important. I just don't know how it's gonna fit in with everything. I've already looked at it. Can I react to anything with the frame? Let me see. It's gonna be this or this. Just object. Objection! The witness is creeping me out. I want to go home. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and do it. Yeah, it's not that. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Like, I have some ideas of how he was poisoned, but I really am not sure. Maybe I need to... Okay, let me show it on this dial. No. Okay. I just had to know. In that case, let's load again. Okay, so it's not the painting. It's not the little painting. I'm getting ahead of myself with that. Let me do this dialogue again. Let me pay more attention. How Mr. Mission was poisoned. What he's told us means something different now, I'm starting to think.
Let's keep thinking. I'm trying!
Oh, I have in my evidence that would work here. This is definitely true. Only thing that touched his lips during the interview was the mug. Can I disprove this? I don't think so. I mean... Could I bring up the letter? Because I keep thinking about how he had to seal it. That's the only other thing I can think of. Let me try the letter.
Objection!
No. I'll try it on the other dialogue too. Wait. No, that's wrong. Right? I'll make sure. It does? No, it doesn't. Okay, let me try the letter on the other dialogue. I'm getting stumped with this one. Ruuuvo. Assistance. Thank you. Actually, I was there and I kissed him. So wrong. Oh. Yeah, into forgers. Okay. So let me present the letter to this.
Objection!
No. Interesting. Man, I am stuck on this one. Like I said, I have a lot of ideas of how this is gonna go, but I don't know what Apollo wants me to do right now. Oh my god, I thought it was gonna work. Your save's coming too much, Bishi! It has to be to this one, right? Okay, let me read all of the explanations, all the little descriptions. A ticket to the premiere showing of A Grand Illusion by the Magician. Okay. Do I need to look at it? Is there anything on here I didn't look at? I looked at it already. Envelope for Mr. Right. We already looked at that. Defendant's business card. The address for Drew Studio is on the front. Okay. Traces of the slow-acting deadly poison were found on the cup rim. Do I present the cup? Do I talk about how it's only right there where he drank from it? Found at Drew Studio, notable for the large plum in the foreground. Found in the victim's desk drawer contains 2 sheets of writing paper, but it's not going to be this. Or the little painting. Drew Misham's contact with the outside world is empty. I could present the post box to this statement. It doesn't make sense to me. Is there anything I need to look at? Oh no, it's just an image. It's not this little frame. Must be a person, undersea scene, half finished. I am not seeing anything that could help me right now. I know I'm just missing something. But my gosh, I might need another hint. I don't know. Did you press the third statement? Lost track of words. The third statement. This one. Yes, but not recently. I can press again. Are you sure? That was the only thing that touched his lips. Precise. I was busy eating. I don't think they said anything important here. Because they were just like, oh, maybe he got him with the candy. Blah, blah. You think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee. Oh, here's the spot. So I'm not supposed to present evidence. I'm supposed to do this. I forgot about this. That's the other issue too, is I will go through all of the stuff, dialogue, and then I'll forget there was this little moment in the press. Okay, possibility is there. Maybe not prove it, not yet. Well, maybe now I can do it. Okay, let's say that I can prove it now. I'm gonna go with the little painting, I guess. Okay, thank you. This is probably it. Proof is possible. Here goes nothing. Progress! You do understand what we need, yeah? Proof, Hair Forehead, not possibilities. Of course. And Prosecutor Gavin, I hope you understand. I'm ready to give you that proof. What did you say? I have proof of the disappearing envelope, huh? I saw him writing a letter, I did! Which was picked up by the mailman, I assume. Of course. Which means that envelope had a stamp on it. Uh-huh. A stamp. Ah. As we all know, stamps come with dried glue on the back. In order to use the glue, you have to wet it by licking the stamp. Oh. I did not think about that.
Objection!
I figured he licked something. Hey, no one worth talking to actually licks stamps in this day and age.
Objection!
Well, he was old. Even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't. He's dead after all.
Objection!
Okay, so he licked the stamp. But wait, how does that explain the atroquinone on the rim of the coffee mug?
Objection!
Okay, well, I have that answer. If he licked the back of a poisoned stamp, the poison would get on his tongue, right? What would then happen if he put the coffee mug to his mouth, huh? Those traces on the mug weren't the killer's doing. It was the other way around. What? The coffee mug didn't poison Mr. Misham. Mr. Misham poisoned the coffee mug himself. Order! Order! But that doesn't... does it? Recall, if you would. Atroquinine is a slow-acting poison, yes? The poison entered his body when he put the stamp on that envelope. But his time wasn't up until the very moment he touched his lips to that cup of joe. You have something to add, Mr. Brushel? Uh-oh. His nose is picking up another scent. As I believe I mentioned earlier. Well, that's the thing, see? After he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. A stamp, a so-called postage stamp, end quote. But you know, I don't seem to remember him ever finding one. Maybe he'd just run out. Incidentally, we searched the desk drawer at the scene of the crime. There were no stamps, not a single one. That does pose a problem. How will you prove that the stamp was coated with poison? Actually, I'm glad no other stamps were found. It makes proving the stamp he used was poisoned possible. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Good show, good show. You can't even prove there was a stamp at the scene in the first place. Well, let's hear what the defense has to say anyway. Where's your evidence that proves the existence of this poisoned stamp? I mean, I guess it's gonna be this, right? 2 by 2 inches would be a stamp size. I just don't know why it's framed.
Take that!
But it has to be this. Well, that certainly is a cute little frame. And by little, I mean really little. It was on the victim's desk, Your Honor. Quite empty, as you can see for yourself. I noticed that, too, during my inspection. So what? Apparently you weren't as observant as you should have been. You see, when you saw this frame, it was missing something quite important. Missing something? Yes, a pale bluish stain on the inside of the frame. Atroquinine residue. What? Why wasn't I told about this? The frame is only 2 inches square. The face of the frame is even smaller. Maybe an inch wide at most. You aren't saying... Oh, but I am. Tell me, what fits in such a small frame? A commemorative stamp, perhaps. He had it framed? Order! Order! Poison stamp was in this frame? Impossible. Prosecutor Gavin, why would he put something like that on his desk? Don't tell me he had it there so he could commit suicide if the mood struck. You know, can I say something? I had a thought, see? What, Mr. Brushel? And please stop jittering around like that. The victim was a forger, right? There's a lot of money in that line of work. Forger forges friends, makes enemies too, end quote. So the poison stamp might have been a murder weapon aimed at him. A stamp being a murder weapon. Amazing. Oh, rich. That's rich. Leave the ridiculous flights of fancy to the Gaviner's song lyrics, please. Finally, something we agree on. The stamp was a murder weapon. Nonsense. Murder is a simple business. Who would go to such lengths? No one. Oh, I disagree. Come again? Recall, if you would, the victim's reclusive lifestyle. Drew Misham hid from the world. He avoided meetings. His only contact with the outside world was the mail. The mail! Eureka! Now, if you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet, but you knew red letters, a stamp would be the perfect weapon. Ridiculous. Where's your proof? I want proof. Show us evidence that this poisoned stamp was sent to him as a murder weapon. I might not have evidence per se, but things are finally starting to come together. Okay. I'm saving because I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
What is it, Apollo? Your fists are trembling.
I think I know what happened. I don't believe it, but I can see it. I think I know how Mr. Misham was killed. Well, fill us in, Mr. Justice. A certain piece of evidence points to the truth, Your Honor. I can show you how someone with the intent to kill sent Mr. Misham the stamp of death. Oh, well, it would be through this letter because it even says there's a stamp enclosed. I put the money in the account, send a receipt when you've confirmed the transfer. Sign the papers and send in the enclosed envelope, so probably yellow, with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. I need not remind you to speak of this to no one. Wasn't this letter from like years ago though? I don't know. Maybe I'm confused on that. But it's this. Isn't this the envelope? The one from 7 years ago? Yeah, it is 7 years ago. Okay. Think about the text of the letter again. There were 2 pages in the envelope. This is page 1. And this is page 2. I want to draw your attention to one phrase in particular. Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. The enclosed stamp, Your Honor. Ah. In other words, if I have this straight, the stamp, poison, on the stamp, lick, lick, gasp, end quote. Now, what if he had done exactly as the letter asked?
He would sign the document, put it in the envelope, and put the stamp on it, right? Then he would put it in his letterbox.
15 minutes wouldn't have elapsed between affixing the stamp and mailing the letter. But the clock started ticking, and when the time came, he drew his last breath. Okay, so probably what's happened is this letter gets sent to him 7 years ago, but he doesn't go through with it in responding until now, because he's getting blackmailed by this journalist who's bringing up this case from 7 years ago, and now he's getting all scared. And so now he's actually going through with it 7 years later, at least, you know, sending the letter. And that's how he frickin' dies. And he was supposed to die 7 years ago. Okay, let me take some notes on this. So, Misham receives red letter 7 years ago. Letter tells him to send... What does it tell him to do exactly? Send a receipt when you confirm the transfer. Send a receipt and signed papers. The envelope. Can't type. And the stamp. The stamp has poison that he licks and dies 7 years later. Okay, just have a little summary of what's going on here. Okay, since we are in the middle of some dialogue here, but we are about halfway through with the stream. So I'm gonna go take a quick break. I should be back in about 5 minutes or less. When I return, we'll pick back up, maybe find a good stopping point. I don't know if we're near a to be continued or anything. We shall see what we get up to. But I will be back in just a jiffy. Feel free to grab a snack or a drink if you need it. BRB. Right, we're back. More lawyering. Thank you for my little intro. Okay, let's get back to this. Okay. The clock started ticking, and when the time came, he drew his last breath. The murder weapon would be taken away from the scene. Quite conveniently, thanks to the postal system. What an interesting crime. Yeah, I gotta write more notes. I'm trying to be pretty good about the note-taking because I'm not playing this again until next week, so I just want to make sure I have all the details. He mailed the letter, so the evidence is gone. At least for now. Such a splendid imagination you have, Hair Forehead. Let me confirm one thing with you, if I might. So, this poisoned stamp was inside this envelope from 7 years ago, yeah? Is that what you would have us believe? Really? Well...
It is a little bit of a stretch, but there's a possibility.
Yes, a very small possibility. How small, I wonder? A poisoned stamp in this envelope? A stamp that then became the murder weapon? How do you intend to prove this seeming coincidence?
Well...
It was 7 years ago, and we don't even know who sent that letter. And your answer is silence, I see. Very well. I move to... It's not nice to pick on the Fraulein, Clavier. Huh? Ah! Isn't he supposed to be in jail? Hello? Ah. Emma! What was that?
Well, like my Christoph Gavin impression? Did I sound like him?
You're joking. Jump scare? A Gavin jump scare? Jesus. Don't quit your day job. Don't you have a crime scene to be looking after, Fraulein Detective?
Someone had to come dig you all out of this mess you're making of this case.
Mess?
You know, none of this would have happened if you just trusted in science a little more. You can find out if that stamp was in that envelope easy.
Care to explain yourself, Fraulein Detective?
Glare at me all you want, but science is on my side. It's all in the residue, right?
That's right. Poison detection spray. Produce the red envelope at once. Oh, we haven't sprayed it, have we? You can open it on the authority of the court. Yeah! Show me that poison, baby! It's not down here. Oh, there it is. I thought it would be down here. Wow. Evidence! Well, would you look at that?
No mistaking it. That's atroquinine residue.
I don't believe it. A murder weapon from the past? Now, 7 years later, it bears its fangs at last.
Objection!
Absolutely outrageous. Tell me why. Tell me why there's poison in the letter. Thanks for being here, Panda. Have a good night. We'll see you around. We'll see you next time. Why didn't this murder take place 7 years ago? That's what I'm wondering, but things happen. Well,
There's one possibility. Maybe Mr. Misham figured it out.
Figured what out?
He realized that the person who sent that letter wanted him dead, so he sent his reply with a different stamp.
And put his decisive evidence in a frame. No, he used it. That's how he died. You're still here? Can I make a statement here on the record? I, Spark Razortooth Brushel, claim this scoop as mine. Drew Misham killed in cold blood by sender of 7-year-old letter, end quote. No, maybe something more succinct. Star falls after 7-year delay, end quote. Order! Order! I see no room for further argument here. Though I admit this is all coming as quite a shock. To think that the murder weapon reached his mouth after 7 years. Stamp his ticket straight to afterlife, end quote.
Uh-oh. I think the witness is a bad influence on the judge.
Bailiff, get him! He is unnerving! Get him out of my sight. I see no need for further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago could hardly have been our defendant.
Hollow.
I think we just won. Very well. This court finds the defendant.
Objection!
Oh? Yeah, whatever. Is this the bright future of our legal system? Prosecutor Gavin? A ticket to the afterlife from 7 years ago? Tickets for Gaviner's shows are invalid after 2 weeks. But it doesn't make sense any other way.
It boggles my mind that so many people haven't noticed this. There's a fatal contradiction in Herr Forehead's claim. A contradiction? A poisoned stamp was placed in this envelope 7 years ago, whereupon it was framed until now. If that's the case, then why would Drew Misham have done what he did? Emma, explain that. He must have realized it was poisoned. But then why would he lick it? Therein lies the rub. 7 years ago, the forger Drew Misham sensed a trap and put the stamp in a frame. I do not debate this, but this begs the question. Why, 7 years later, did he use that stamp on the night of the murder?
He forgot. He plumb forgot that it was poison. That's it. That's all. Bad memory. He is old. I mean, you know.
Surely you don't mean to suggest that Mr. Misham simply forgot.
I surely did.
He put the murder weapon in a frame on his desk for 7 years and forgot? You expect us to believe he sprang the trap on himself?
Whoa! Yeah, I do. I do say so.
While I admit this is all quite shocking myself, it does seem highly unlikely that he would fall afoul of a trap that had been sitting on his desk for 7 years.
Hollow,
I don't think we're winning anymore. I'm glad to see we're all back in the real world now. Welcome back to reality. We've been waiting for you.
Objection!
Okay, then how do you explain the poisoned stamp that was in this envelope? The poisoned stamp? Where exactly is this poisoned stamp again? Have you brought it to court for us? I see no proof that such a thing ever existed.
Objection!
What about the atroquinine residue, huh? Oh, I agree. That does seem to be atroquinine residue. But Herr Forehead, it's certainly no stamp. Yeah, but even if your precious poisoned stamp did exist, Drew Misham never would have used it. That is all.
man.
I think it is weird. I believe we've come to a conclusion again.
Hollow, were we wrong the whole time?
I can't believe it. The poison traces match up. It can't be coincidence. I'd like to bring some closure to this issue sometime this year. Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor. Let's review the facts and see where we stand. 7 years ago, Drew Misham received a red envelope. There were traces of the poison atroquinine on the document inside. A similar trace was also found at the crime scene on this tiny picture frame, so cute and small. The defense has indicated the possibility of a yellow envelope, an envelope that left the scene of the crime with the poisoned stamp on it. Yes, but even if this envelope contained a poisoned stamp, and Drew Misham, knowing this, put it in a frame, he never would have used that stamp. I'm afraid you're right, which means there is a fatal flaw in the defense's case.
I mean, I think what they're saying could easily be refuted if you don't assume that he knew that there was poison on the stamp. I mean, he could have framed it as, oh, let me have it on my desk so I know where it is whenever I do decide to send this receipt out. But he didn't know it had poison on it, because otherwise why would he lick it? So, I mean, I think that's easy. Why are we assuming that he knows it was poison because he took 7 years to send the letter? There could be a lot of reasons why he didn't send the letter. Like I said earlier, I think he got scared by this blackmail and decided to send off the letter late. I don't know why he didn't send it in the beginning.
I haven't been on the wrong track this whole time, I'm sure of it. The traces of atroquinine, the envelope, the frame, and Drew Misham's mysterious death, they're all connected somehow. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have a conclusion for us? The defense stands by its case, Your Honor. We've seen that the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense, which means that one of our clues must be a fake. Oh!
A fake? Maybe the frame is fake? Because who frames a stamp? A fake clue. Fascinating. And if we find this fake, your wild fantasies will prove quite reasonable, yeah? The fake clue that's thrown us off the poison's trail is none other than... Drew Misham! I think it's the frame. This frame is the fake clue? Without a doubt, Your Honor. Because it's giving them this false idea that he knew it was poison, so that has to be it. Wasn't it you who presented its evidence to the court? Oh. Hold on a second, Apollo. The poison on the envelope, that frame, and the coffee mug, they're all connected somehow. Oh, right. Sigh. No, I got it wrong! I can hear it already. It looks like the fake was you, Hair Forehead. We can flog ourselves later, Apollo. Now's the time for thinking. Oh. Okay. Damn. The forger was a forgery at Rubber Misham. I guess it was the envelope? This red envelope is a fake? Without a doubt, Your Honor.
Objection!
Wasn't it you who presented this evidence to the court? Oh, it's Drew Misham? Come on! It's the guy? I was not expecting that. Okay. Great. Sure. Yeah. I'm doing so bad today, y'all. The victim was a fake clue? I'm afraid I don't understand. Me either, Judge. I'll explain. We have an envelope, a frame, and a mug linked by poison. So is it like the mug is fake? That all makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the victim himself.
Objection!
Okay. Congratulations, you've completely lost me. Same. So the fake evidence is none other than the master of fake himself, the forger. Makes a good story, I'll give you that. The fake clue. Fakes. Forgeries. Ah. I know that face. That's the I just had an idea face. I don't know if I'm right, but I'm going with it anyway. What if our forger is the fake? Come again? 7 years ago, our forger sniffed a trap and stepped aside. 7 years passed. Now the forger stumbles into that very same trap and dies. Why? That's what I want to know. Because the forger who was killed was a fake? Here we are again. The victim was a fake. Huh? One forger smelled the trap. One forger fell into the trap. That's 2 forgers, and one of them was a fake. Hello? Am I supposed to figure this out on my own? Because that's not happening. What? Order! Order! So you are telling us that Drew Misham, the victim, was a fake. Secret forger twin. Well, if he was the fake, who was the real forger? You'd better not be claiming there was some kind of switcheroo. Wait. How old is the daughter? 19? Could she have been a forger at 12? Is she the real forger? Huh. So it's not that there's a twin situation. I think it's the daughter. What? I think that's what's going on. You'd better not be claiming there was some kind of switcheroo. I'm afraid you're going to have to back up your story. Mr. Justice, show us just who the real Drew Misham was. If Drew Misham wasn't the real forger, there's only one other person it could have been. Yeah, the daughter. Understood, Your Honor. Forger Drew Misham was himself a forgery. The real forger was... the girl. There can be only one explanation, really. The real identity of the forger known as Drew Misham is none other than his only daughter, Vera Misham. Maybe he was like a cover for her? Order! Mr. Justice, this is going out on a limb even for you! I kind of agree. I mean, Vera, a forger? Let's consider it before you write it off entirely. If you look at the paintings in the studio, one fact becomes quite clear. Forgery had been taking place in that studio for quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in that trap 7 years ago. This can only mean that the one who was caught in the trap wasn't the forger. It's one of those things where, like, one always lies and one always tells the truth.
Well, actually, that does kind of make a certain kind of sense.
One more thing. Only 2 sets of fingerprints were found in the Forger studio. Drew Misham's and Vera's. If we know that Drew Misham wasn't the forger, that leaves only one possibility by process of elimination. The forger was Vera. Well, this is going places I didn't think it was going to.
Is this Yakuza 3 have secret twins?
Fascinating.
Vera Misham? You've been paying attention to the trial so far.
Let's just ask her and be done with it, shall we? Who are you? Who is the forger, Drew Misham?
Oh.
Was that an expression of emotion I saw in her face? She's staring holes into Prosecutor Gavin's face. I'm used to being stared at by Frauleins, believe me. Though they usually talk to me, too. Tell us, were you the one who forged those works of art? Yes.
Oh! So the forger, Drew Misham, was you?
Yes, it was me.
What is that? Is that a crying face?
What?
What? She just comes out and says it?
The court was in an uproar, and it wasn't coming down. We had to break for a 10-minute recess. To be continued. Perfect timing because my voice is going. My throat is starting to hurt, so I'm actually going to call it here. Let me do some notes real quick because I won't be playing this until next time. Let's see. So the real forger was Vera, the daughter. Because she didn't fall for the trap 7 years ago, but her dad did, I guess, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. Maybe she's forging that she is the forger to forge her place as the forger's killer. So true. We'll have to revisit that theory next time. Thank y'all so much for being here. We will be playing more of this probably next Thursday and Friday. I usually stream this on Thursdays and Fridays and Infinite Wealth Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I will not be playing this again tomorrow, however, because we're going to be trying out Moonglow Bay, which is like a fishing RPG. It's really cute. It just got released on console, so it's on Switch and PlayStation now. And the devs gave me a copy of the game, and I actually have been wanting to play it before they sent me a copy. So I'm really glad I get to try it out. So yeah, we'll be doing that tomorrow. I will probably be a PNG tuber as well tomorrow. But yeah. Either way. Interesting, Vera equal truth. I guess Misham equals sham, so forger. Oh, Vera means truth. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. As they were talking about all this happening, I was like, okay, what's Vera's pun then in her name? Interesting. But yeah, we will revisit that next time. Be back tomorrow with Moonglow Bay at 8:30 p.m. Central Time if y'all want to tune in for that. It should be a fun time. It's a really cute indie game. If y'all haven't heard of it, y'all should come check it out. There's my social media. I'm most active on Twitter and YouTube if you'd like to follow me there. We also have a Discord open to everybody if you want to join it, and that's the best place to be for stream updates if you'd like to go in there. We'll wrap this up real quick. And then there's the raid messages if you'd like to join in with us. But either way, I hope y'all have a great rest of your nights, and hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow. But either way, I'll see y'all next time. Bye!